Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Rebecca Ael.
As Oprah Winfrey once said, you become what you believe. I was asked, what do you do for a living? And I said, I play basketball. They smiled and asked me again, nice, you play basketball. But what is actually your job? Growing up, a lot of people did not believe that basketball can be my future. Not because I wasn't good enough, but because I was just a girl from Lebanon, dreaming too big for our culture. And I'm sure many of us here know what that feels. When your ambitions are too big for where you come from, whether in your life path, a career, a passion. When I said I wanted to play internationally, they mocked me. They laughed at me. They said I am cocky, even delusional. But I didn't stop believing. And this talk was 21 years ago, in an era where sports wasn't even considered a job. Not in Lebanon, not in the Arab world, and especially not for women. But I kept believing, and I persevered, and all those doubts that I heard, I didn't listen to any of them. Have you ever felt that you were meant to do something? It was destined specially for you? There's a quote by Michael Jordan. Some people want it to happen. Others wish it would happen. And some other people, they make it happen. At 8 years, I knew I loved basketball. At 12, I knew I wanted to go pro. And at 15, the dream got bigger. I want to play as a foreign player in Europe. Everyone around me heard those talks, and they said it was impossible. I spent everything since that moment on to dedicate my life for that moment, for that goal. I put a lot of hours of practices after school, my sleeping habits, my eating habits, everything was on point. And I kept repeating to myself, she believed she could, so she did. Because the moment you start believing that something is yours, you start acting like it already is. I made it to the Lebanese first division. I played for the national team. Today, I am the captain of the national team. And this is where the dream started getting bigger. But reality hit me hard. For 4 years, I started applying my CV, my games, my highlights to agents, to teams in Europe. And I received the same answer from everyone. She's skilled, she's good, but she's from Lebanon. Her profile is weak. She doesn't have enough experience. She's not from the right place. The right place? Have you ever heard you are not from the right place? Those actions, those reactions used to drive me crazy. I got so frustrated. I knew I could make it. I had an inner belief that I can make it to Europe. I can perform at that level. And I kept going. Those dreams that they called unrealistic, I kept moving forward. Then, in June 2019, something changed. I was introduced to a Greek agent. And finally, someone European told me, you are good enough, you are worth it. It's time to open your wings and fly. By the end of the month, I signed my first professional overseas contract. I was the first Lebanese man and woman to ever step foot in Europe, to ever play in Europe. That was a very, very big moment to me. It was a very big moment to me, and I felt so happy, so overwhelmed, and so ready for that challenge. And what's crazy about all of this is by the same year, few months later, the Lebanese revolution happened. Many of Lebanese were affected by this event, including the basketball community. So I looked back and I asked myself, what if I didn't take that opportunity? What if I hadn't traveled? I would be stuck in Lebanon, stayed without career, without job, without a contract for 1 year. And this is when you realize sometimes in life, what was a delay is actually the perfect timing for things to happen. Patience was the key to that. And I kept telling myself, she believed she could, so she did. I believed I could make it, so I made it to Europe. That first season in Greece was a real challenge. I wanted to prove myself. I did everything for that. I dedicated all my time for the game. The hours I spent working out, I was the first to enter the gym, the last to leave the gym. I scouted every team I had to face. I wanted to be ready for every game. I wanted to be the best player on the court. And sometimes, even when people around me doubted me, I kept persevering. Why? Because by the end of the season, one, I received a special recognition award from the Greek League. Two, I heard from my coach that all the teams and all the clubs mocked him for signing a Lebanese player. They said, "Why did you sign her? She's coming from Lebanon. She probably doesn't know how to play." And by the end of that season, those same people were speaking highly of me, showing respect to my name, and most of them contacted me and asked me to play for them the next season. And this is when I realized that even though I was surrounded by people, by a different culture, who never knew me, I made it. And even when the Lebanese basketball meant nothing to them, and they underestimated it, I was present to prove them wrong. However, success doesn't always protect you from failure. My fourth year, I signed in Spain. Spain is considered to be one of the top leagues in Europe and the world. I was ecstatic. That was my chance to play at the highest level. I had a plan, a contract, stability for 9 months. And then one day, suddenly, without any notice, no second chances, no warnings, I got a call and I was cut from the team. That moment felt really heavy. There's something you should know about athletes' life. When you sign a contract, there are no guarantees. If you don't perform the way your coach or your management want you to, you can be fired the next day without any previous call. I felt really sad. I cried for weeks. I doubted my talent. I questioned myself, my path. I asked myself what I could have done better in order to avoid this. And this is when the emotion took a toll on the physical. I didn't want to keep going. And I stopped. One day, 1 week, 2 weeks, I spent my life away from basketball. And this is when I really realized I miss it and I feel lost. So I decided to get back at it. I decided to stay true to my character. So I started showing up again, training hours and hours. I watched every film I have played to check where I could have done better and to focus on my weaknesses and become a better player. 3 weeks later, I received a call from my agent, "Pack your bags, we're going to Greece." And I was really grateful. Finally, I can do what I love the most. I can get back to playing basketball. And that season in Greece was one of my favorites because although I faced a lot of adversity and in moments of doubt, I was able to still perform at a very high level. What started as a hobby became a passion. And that passion turned into a dream job. We all know that an athlete's career is short. Especially sometimes we can have one injury that can end this career. So we're always told to have a backup plan. And the irony, basketball itself was a backup plan. It gave me a career beyond just the basketball courts. And this is why I founded with my brothers a basketball academy. I come from a basketball family. They both used to play professional basketball players. So we created a platform for a young generation who dream of becoming themselves professional basketball players through the sport we love the most. And this dream of mine, that was once personal, became every young girl's dream. I started receiving a lot of messages from young girls telling me they were inspired by my story, telling me it was the first time they see a girl from Lebanon playing in Europe. And they said that themselves, they want to play basketball and be professional players one day. And this is when I realized that was once mine became theirs. And my priority is now to dedicate my life to every young girl and to create a movement to help her reach her dreams. Today, I stand here as the first Lebanese female basketball player to ever set foot in Europe and perform at a high level. And today's talk is not only about basketball. It's actually about the limits we inherit. It's about the invisible rules people tell us you can't do it. Well, let me tell you one thing. Those dreams that seemed unrealistic are actually not impossible. It's just a box we put ourselves into it. They are just unfamiliar dreams to our culture, to the people around us, and sometimes to ourselves. When one single person achieves one dream, it expands to everyone watching. What was once she believed she could, so she did, became I believed I could, so I did. Thank you.